That's it. But every single day, this song is on my mind every day, all day long. And I work on it and I practice it. And yes, it's long coming, but I am committed to getting this tune 1,000 years down. So I wanted to introduce to you the steel tongue drum, or the tank drum. And what I just played for you, that little bit of 1,000 years, took me around or close to 100 times to record that and get it to where I got it. Now, why is it so difficult? And the truth is, it's not that difficult. It's just not what I'm used to. I'm used to stringed instruments. So I can pick up a stringed instrument, one that I've never even played, and because I know basically how it's set up, how the scales would be, and I can hear the scales, and they just are set up kind of logically to me. I can do that. So this is just something I'm not used to. The tone to me is absolutely beautiful. It's a nice small instrument. It is an instrument that just, to me, it just exudes grace, and it's got a very pure type of a sound, and I just really, really love it. So it's not truly a drum, because a drum has a head stretched across it, like a regular drum where you pull the skin down over, or a banjo, and this is all metal. All right, top, bottom, it's metal, and instead of just the head vibrating like in a drum, this entire instrument vibrates. So there is some confusion to me, not as far as just the setup. So this is a 15-tongue drum. They come in different with like 12-inch, 13-inch, and that doesn't necessarily decide on how many tongues are on it. This is a 15-tongue. They have a 13-tongue. They have an 11-tongue. I've seen a 6-tongue. I've seen some that are just about this big with 5 notes, just the pentatonic scale. So very, very small. Some of the things that are confusing to me is how the tongues are set up. So there are some tongue drums, and they just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, mine obviously doesn't do that. Mine goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you'll notice there's 2, so you have 2 octaves. So to play the scale on this particular drum, and I want you to notice there's large tongues and there's small tongues. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then you go to the small 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to the small 1, which is your octave. You also notice that you want to hit it. There's kind of a sweet spot as compared to, you can hear that kind of a tinny vibration. If you hit it right in the center, you get a nice pure sound. So when I looked these up to purchase one, the layouts were all different. And some people would put the 1 in front of them. Some people had the 7 in front of them. So nobody was, I thought, well, maybe this tongue goes directly in front of you. But anytime I've seen anybody play them, they all play them different. So there's a little bit of confusion there. And as I said, on most instruments, the scales are fairly simple, where this one kind of jumps all the way around and you have the higher notes. You can actually play 2 octaves on this. So you can also play chords. So the song 1,000 Years, that's actually a D chord. This is an A chord. back to D, back to A, then you got your G chord. So if you were playing with other instruments like a mountain dulcimer, and these come, by the way, in like D, then you got to buy a C, and then you got to buy a G. So they come in different keys. Here's your D, G, D, A, G, D, A, D. Now, even within this 1 and the 3, which makes up a D chord, you can play them in any order through in that one. So it's just an absolutely beautiful instrument. And I'm really, when I heard 1,000 Years, you know, songs mean different things to different people. And I guess when I hear certain songs like that, there's a song called Perfect, which I'll be doing next. And they're beautiful songs. And yet, and this is hard to explain, but they also leave me feeling sad and empty. And I guess sometimes that's why we listen to songs, is it brings out different emotions. Not that we want those emotions, but just because of the song, they're there. So it's strange, because you know, these are the songs I'm really trying to work on and get down, and it just leaves me, it's kind of like a hole inside of me. But so I'm going to be doing these and adding some other songs. Now, I talked about commitment. If this was any other instrument, I don't know, I would be committed to it. The funny thing about this instrument is I don't know if it loves me back. Now, what I mean by that, my banjo loves me back. My dulcimer loves me back. My hammer dulcimer loves me back, because they were easy to pick up for me. I didn't really struggle that much with them. I didn't have the hard time learning it the same way. One of the things that's important, and I guess I'm sort of like an octopus, is this year I'm learning this, of the steel tongue drum. I'm learning fiddle. Somebody had gifted me a fiddle, and I'm learning that. I'm also learning concertina, which I can play somewhat, but I'm really focusing on learning these 3 instruments. So I'm just reaching out there and grabbing everything. I'm spending, as I said, every day working on things. And again, this is on my mind constantly, and trying to get these songs on constantly. But it's because I want to commit to it. I'm in it for the long haul. And I know sometimes when you come across an instrument and it gets hard, it's real easy to quit. It's real easy to bail on it. And I want to talk about that just briefly. So you're kind of getting a double introduction and hopefully some encouragement here. So I have gone rappelling before, and the scariest part of rappelling is not once you're on the rope and over the edge. It's that first step. It's leaning back and letting yourself fall maybe 2 or 3 inches until you feel secure on that rope. That is the most terrifying part. And sometimes you think, what in the world am I doing? And I've had people do that, and they kind of climb back up, or they pull themselves back up. But what if you just fell headlong, head over heels, over that cliff? That's committal. You can't get back up. You're just done for. All right, when I say done for, That is full committal. So I hope you enjoyed that brief introduction to the steel tongue drum. I just absolutely fell in love with the instrument. I've seen them before. I've seen people mess around with them. I've never heard anything really played on it. And then I heard someone play 1,000 Years on it, and it just stole my heart. And I think what happened was I was so enthralled with it that I wasn't really planning on getting on. I wasn't really thinking about it. I just went backwards over that cliff and didn't have a choice and just was fully committed. And no matter how long it takes me, I'm going to learn it. I'm sticking with it. And I hope that encourages you. Whatever instrument you're trying to learn, if it seems difficult, if it seems hard, just jump over that cliff and commit yourself to learning that instrument. Don't give up because it's too hard or it seems impossible. So I hope that's encouraging.